Right, all right, all right. Hey, 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 hey. How y'all doing? How you feeling? Hope you're feeling real good. It's the Noontime, My Time podcast. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We're going to go ahead and run the intro. And I'm here. I'm here. Yes. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to everybody right now. Hope you've been having a very, very good day. It's Wellness Wednesday, y'all. Wellness Wednesday. And I got a topic here for you. I want to talk about the power of neighbors. Yes, the power of neighbors, how they impact your well being. You need to know that. Are you a good neighbor? Are you a good neighbor? Do you have good neighbors? Do you know your neighbors? You should. If you don't, you absolutely should. All right. Before we get into the conversation, and it's a conversation that needs to be had, let's do a little breath work. Let's do a little bit of breath work. What I want you to do is inhale to the count of 4. And we're going to hold it for a few seconds. And then we're going to exhale. And we'll hold that for a few seconds. And we'll repeat that a few times. Now, you can close your eyes if you're in a place that you can do that. I don't want you to do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're actually sitting at the desk. If you got your headpods on and you're taking a listen, we'll vibrate with us and listen. But if you can close your eyes, close your eyes. You want to take it a step further, put your hands over your heart and feel that you are alive. That's you. Let's get into it. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. One more time. Let's inhale. Hold it a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. Doesn't that feel great? It feels real good. It feels very good. We are on episode 56, guys. 56, the Noontime, My Time podcast. And today is Wellness Wednesday. And today I wanted to talk about something that I think we need to think about, as we all are neighbors. We have neighbors. We live in a community. So there's things that we should be thinking about. And I'm like, I wonder if my good people want to talk about the role that neighbors play in our lives, and particularly for single person households. Single person households. Yeah, we know about single mothers, but see, single mothers have children. I'm talking about that single person household. And especially some of those elderly people in our community who are now living on their own. Their kids are adult and they live in other cities or other states, as well as some of them are widowed. We need to be talking about that. We need to be thinking about them. We need to figure out ways of being socially connected to them and being a part of their support system. We should, because all of those things are important for our well-being. It makes, just having people around you is going to make an impact on your lifespan. Do you know that? So I want to know if you guys are out here being good neighbors. I want to say hello to some people who are already in the house here with me. It's Keep the Faith with Tori. She's saying, hey, 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 and greetings from D-Town. Absolutely. All right. And I see she got Kadarius out there with the, how you doing, Kadarius? All right, a good guy out here, good student out here. Keep doing your thing, young man. Type of young people that we like out here. But we're having a conversation today about good neighbors. Good neighbors. We have to encourage a sense of community, and neighborly engagement is definitely going to enhance the lives of single person household, especially those older people. We've got to foster some type of connection with them. We got to be able to provide some type of support. You got to think about these things. I mean, you may not be on the side of what is considered elderly right now, but with grace, you very well could be. You're not sure of where your circumstances will lead you. Will you be in a single person household? And I know that you know many people who are. So we've got to be a part of that, support system from them. Now, I want to read a few statistics that I was able to look up from the Census Bureau and as it relates to single person households. They say that the number of single person households in 2019 were approximately 35 million. So there was approximately 35 million single person households in the United States, according to their statistics here from the Census Bureau in 2019. And that number continues to grow. The number of single person household has been steadily increasing over the years. And those there's several things that factor into that. And some of those factors are delayed marriages, the changing of social norms, and of course, our aging popularity, our older people, they definitely contribute to this trend here. So I wanted to kind of have an idea of what that age distribution was like. Single person households are prevalent among adults from various age groups. However, they are particularly common among older people. So 39% of individuals ages 65 and older live alone. That's a pretty big number. And that's a pretty big number in age, 65 and older. As far as the gender distribution, single person households were relatively evenly distributed between men and women. So they didn't really see that there was a significant difference with the gender population. Geographically speaking, it kind of varied across different regions of the United States. Urban areas tend to have a higher concentration of single person households compared to rural areas. When you think about it, that makes a whole lot of sense. I would not like to think single persons are living out in rural areas, being very far from things, not really having some of their greater needs close to them. I could see that being much more of a challenge than just being, a single person household. So it's important for us to pay attention to those statistics, and we can keep. It's very easy for you to look this information up, but I got here because I wanted to know how we're being neighbors and how neighbors play a significant role in the lives of single person households, right? How can we do that? We've got to establish some type of social connection. People need to, there was a time when everybody knew all of their neighbors. You go outside, you go on the porch, you're talking to each other across from the porch, yelling across the yards with each other. And now, in some of today's times, believe it or not, there are lots of people who don't even know their neighbors, don't know their neighbor's name. There are people who don't even speak to their neighbors. And I want us to get back to being neighborly. There's no reason to live in a neighborhood and not know your neighbor, or to pass by your neighbor and not just put up a hand and say hi. That is the least you can do. And when we have elderly people in our community, and we know that they are living in a single person household, they're living alone, I think it's important that we check in on them sometimes. I really do. I think it's important for us to be supportive, to be some type of network for them because they need it. They absolutely do. For their security, for their safety, we gotta do that. Neighbors help contribute to a safer environment because we're keeping an eye on each other, paying attention to, all of the things. If you've seen them lately, paying attention to that. That's important because when people are living alone, several things can happen in a household overnight or at any time. They could have a medical emergency and no one's there to help them. So that's where neighbors come in. So you've gotta be paying attention. We gotta offer some emotional support to them. Neighbors can serve as a listening ear. You think about the fact that a person lives alone, so there's not a whole lot of people that they may have a face-to-face conversation with. Of course, they can talk to people on the phone, there's social media, but there's a difference in having a face-to-face conversation, having a listening ear, just being available to have just a short conversation. That helps promote their well-being. Just being able to see a smile or to see a person face to face, that means a lot. It does. And then you gotta think about those times of emergency. That's why you wanna be paying attention, you know? What happens if there are weather emergencies, you wanna know you wanna know if older people are prepared. Are they able to get out and get the things that they need? I think someone in the neighborhood, somebody should be paying attention to that and help them plan, make sure that they've got what they need and make sure that they're aware of whatever potential risk could be happening. You got to figure out ways of being able to respond if there's some type of crisis. And then just being able to share some emergency information, some emergency resources, offering your support. That's neighborly. So I'm wondering, like, in what ways do you think neighbors could contribute to promoting to our aging population and the overall health among the aging population? How do you think you do that, or how can you do that? Right? And let's think about this. How can individuals living alone, including the elderly, right? How can they foster or build a sense of community with their neighbors? Is it their responsibility? Is it their responsibility to build that with new neighbors, or what are you guys thinking? Because I would think that the younger person who's got a little bit more life, and by that I mean a little bit more energy, who is able to help and offer some help. I like to think that it should be your responsibility. I like to think that they should have your number or be able to get in contact with you if anything happened. Their kids, or if they have kids or some of their family members, they should have your number. Somebody needs to be able to look out for that elderly single person who's a single person household. We got to do that. And that's what I wanted to kind of focus on today. Just kind of put that in your ear. Not necessarily that we have to have a conversation, but you can hear it. It's something that you can think about, right? In looking at those statistics, I realized that there were 54 million individuals aged 65 and older in the United States. And that's around 16% of the population. And that was in 2019, according to the census. The number of elderly individuals has been increasing due to the factors of longer life expectancy and the aging of the baby boomer generation. Okay. The 85 years and older group, they're often referred to the oldest old, right? And that's one of the fastest growing segments of the population. 85 and older. They're one of the fastest growing segments of the population. So we've got to be good neighbors. And then when we think about the widowed population, also according to the census of 2019, this information lets us know that there was approximately 13.6 million widowed individuals in the United States. The majority of those individuals were older adults, and around 45% were women. 14% of men aged 65 and older were widowed. And the likelihood of being widowed increased with age as marriage disillusion through the loss of a spouse becomes more prevalent with the older age groups. We got to think about that. So people are out here living alone and they could become isolated, particularly, when they could be grieving and, when they are widowed. So neighbors got to pay attention to some of those things. And isolation affects people in some very in various ways, actually, both physically and mentally. There are mental health impacts of isolation. It lead to feelings of loneliness, depression. They could be experiencing anxiety, an increased stress level, and that lack of social interaction. That's not good. That's not good for the mental health. So we need to be paying attention. Isolation also leads to cognitive decline. Prolonged isolation can affect cognitive functioning, including social engagement. Individuals may experience a decline in many of their cognitive abilities. Who's paying attention to that? Who's knocking on the door? Physical health as well. Isolation is associated with various physical health issues, risk of chronic diseases, cardiovascular problems, sleep disturbances. All of these things are happening for people who are isolated. It's a big deal. I don't know if we're thinking about it. That's why I wanted to talk about it just a little bit. And what if they're just not doing well? So they need to have these social connections, and social connections are crucial for people to have a sense of purpose, for some happiness, just for their overall well-being. Isolation leads to like diminishment of self-worth. And we want people to feel needed. We want people to feel recognized. You need that. That's a part of being healthy. That is a part of your health. That is a part of your well-being. And that's why this makes a good topic for Wellness Wednesday, because this is a part of our well-being. Isolation has an impact on your relationships. Prolonged isolation actually, puts a strain on relationships that you may have had. Lack of social interaction. It leads to difficulties of building up or maintaining connections with people. So if your neighbors are not maintaining those relationships, or you're not seeing them every now and then, you kind of need to make sure that they're okay. It doesn't take too much to do that. They're already in your neighborhood. You guys live in the same neighborhood. So think about that. Isolation has, effects on your mental health, has effect on the way that they feel. They may be feeling loneliness and depression. There's incidences of cognitive decline. There's physical effects, a whole range of things. Pay attention. Be a good neighbor. They might get sick in the middle of the night. Nobody's there. You've got to know if you saw Mr. or Miss so and whoever within the last couple days. If their car hasn't moved, you need to know if they're in or out of town. Right? That's the least we could do. That's the very least we could do. So make sure you're being good neighbors out here, guys. That's all I want to share with you. Not going to keep you here too long. Just want to let you know that it is Wellness Wednesday, and wellness, a part of our wellness is definitely making sure that we're being good neighbors to those people who are single person households. Do that. Be that. Be a part of their support system. Be a part of having conversations with them. Make them feel good. All right? That's all I got for you today. That's it. I just want you to use your power of being a good neighbor and know that it impacts the well-being of that neighbor. All right? We all want to have that opportunity to grow old. And you're not sure if you're going to be living on your own or not. And you might need somebody to come check on you. All right? Let's get back into the workday. Maybe you guys get ready to eat your lunch. Hope you're eating something good. Eat something good. Make sure it's good for you, good for your body. All right? Do that. Before we get on out of here, what I want us to do is just breathe this thing right on out. We're going to just breathe and keep feeling good. I'm right here. I'm feeling real good right now. I'm just kind of right here in an easy type of laid back mode and mood. And that's how I want to coast out the rest of my day. I got a few things I want to do. I'm going to do a few things this afternoon. Got some things I want to run out around town and get done. But I want to do it with some good vibes. All right? And believe me, when I roll through my neighborhood, definitely put that hand up. Speak to those neighbors. We all we got, y'all. All right? Let's breathe this thing out and get back into the workday. Let's do some breath work. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold a few seconds. Exhale. And hold that a few seconds. Inhale one more time. Hold a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. And don't you feel great? I feel great. I appreciate you guys. And if nobody gave you a smile today, if nobody smiled today, you just close your eyes and give yourself a big smile and see how that feels for you. All right? Y'all be great out here. That's what we do. One love, y'all.